it's me, Rainiepie. I have 3 reasons for making this video today. Number 1, today I got a new microphone, external recorder. Yes, so number 1, new funny toy to play with. Number 2 is that today has been officially 24 hours since I got my full head of dreadlocks. It's the 12th of May 2014, just so I want video proof of that. And thirdly, I would like to review, talk about Attachments by Rowell, because Booksplosion on YouTube and Goodreads and Twitter chose that as their book this month. Their first book was Panic by Lauren Olivia, yes. Started reading it, I didn't like it, didn't finish it, didn't want to talk about it. Book 2, I missed Rebel Bell, if the live talk had already been over when I saw it, and I thought it sounds like the kind of thing that could go bad with the next couple of books in the series, so I'm going to wait on that. Third one, Rainbow Rowell book. I have yet to read a Rainbow Rowell book, despite the fact that my name is Rain, so I thought I should probably get started on this and read it. So, I read it. I think I read it in 2 days. So the book is about a guy named Lincoln who's 28 years old, and he works at the Courier newspaper as a security computer technician guy. Because it's set in 1999 and the whole world was crazy about electricity failing and the apocalypse or something when the new millennium struck. So he and some other coders were kind of hired to help out with that, and this newspaper press the last people to get internet, and they were all going, oh no, people are going to, watch weird porn and do naughty things and talk to each other and not do work, so here's this guy to make sure that he doesn't do that. And he basically has this program that has some red flags, words, and he sits there and he goes through it. And some emails between 2 other workers at this company, newspaper place, named Beth and Jennifer, exchange frequent personal emails, and instead of turning them in, Lincoln, I don't know, you don't get that name in England. I don't know how to say that name. That he chooses to not send them any warnings, and he continues on with reading the email, and he gets a little caught up with Beth specifically. Okay, so that's sort of what happens. Okay. I did not like this book at first because the characters incorrect grammar there, were too real. Lincoln was 28. He was living with his mum. He'd gone through university repeatedly, and he had no desire for a career. He didn't really work out. He didn't do anything. He just kind of slept through life. And as I'm getting older, at only age 18, I have found myself doing the same thing. There's a big possibility that my life will be like Lincoln's before he goes through his character development stage in the book. So I was disliking this because the people around him, his mother, his sister, some workers, were all telling him about the reality that is his life, and he was no, I'm fine like this, I'm perfectly happy this way. And I've said that before to my own relatives. So at first I wasn't really liking it because I felt like the book was lecturing me in a way. So I didn't like that. But I did find it refreshing that I related so heavily with a character. I think Lincoln might be the character I have ever related to most in a book so far, which is, yeah. Um, yeah, so that was the reason why I didn't fully like it, which is really a pretty petty reason, to be honest, is that it was too real. But at the same time, this book was so full of cutie fantasy rom-com moments. It even addressed these fantasy moments in the book when Beth talks about cute meets, because she's a film critic, she reviews films. She often has references to rom-coms, and we see them throughout the book as she talks about them, and there's very similar films to this book, which I like actually. It's sort of like a wink wink kind of thing. It's not as creepy as that. I just naturally am creepy whenever I try and do anything that isn't creepy. And I am also very, very creepy when I do intend to be creepy. Anyway, this book managed to mesh fantasy, like fiction, and reality, and she just scrambled them together and made this wonderful book that made you feel so many feelings. there were lots of cute moments, and lots of frustrating moments as well. Okay, characters. Every single character was a person. I never felt like they were just, oh, the typical best friend, the typical love interest, and the typical overprotective mum. The two girls, Jennifer and Beth, had their own problems, their own issues, like with Jennifer and her fears of pregnancy and her going through all of her pregnancy issues, and Beth with her boyfriend and loving him but not, and there was, her sort of expecting things to be like the films she watches, which I think I do that too. I think I do that. Lincoln with his sort of dreaming through life, and then his kind of development as he as a person progresses and moves forwards, but then at the same time he sort of ends up like a I'll get into Lincoln with more detail. Okay. Then you have the friend, oh no, I forgot her name. Doris? Was it Doris? There was an old vending machine cleaning lady. Oh, she wasn't just a croaky old lady. She was at first, but once your main character got to know got to know her, she became more of a person. Lincoln's family. Lincoln's family were also very real. Like, the mum had some issues with ex-husbands and dads, and it was his half-sister and much older, and she had 2 kids and a husband, and she had problems with the mum. They were fighting. The mum didn't want to let go of her son, and he was fine to keep it that way, and be coddled, even though he was 28. And Lincoln, I found it quite strange having his character revealed to us through the first of 2 or 3, 4 chapters of this book, because as I was reading, I was thinking, this is a character that I have seen before, but this is a character I've only ever seen in a female lead. I've never seen an insecure, sort of motivationless character going through 9-year-old heartbreak, having been cheated on by someone better, and having the worry that they'll not, like, thinking that the opposite sex or the people they're attracted to are so much better than them that they should feel lucky to be with someone. Like, it was literally just every high school American young adult book is just like, not every, but a lot of them have that character as the lead female. So it was so bizarre seeing it in a 28-year-old man. And along with those sort of transferring those expectations, I was thinking someone who isn't very good looking, but the love interest will, even though they're not actually that good looking. So I transferred that over. So in my head, Lincoln looked a bit like, he was actually, it sounds terrible, but he was actually ginger. He was a bit skinny, he was a bit scrawny, and he had a slight hunch from working on computers. I just picture IT guys to be like me and be like this. So that's sort of what I was thinking. And then when you see Beth describing him in her email later on, and then he goes, huh? And then you see him look at himself in the mirror, because he doesn't like to look at himself in the mirror, so you don't know what he looks like until then. He sort of looks and then he sort of talks about his appearance. He's got bigger shoulders, he's very tall, he's got a bit of a beer gut, even though he doesn't drink that much beer. And then it was a bit of a startling thing of that. I had gotten that impression because that's how Lincoln felt about himself. And you sort of had a moment of realisation at the same time as he did that he could be physically attractive. And that was really nice. I think a lot of people would get annoyed about the fact that he played D&D on Sundays, because so far his sort of insecure character had been a bit sort of varied. So he wasn't just the geek guy, computer geek guy. And then when he mentioned that he went to D&D, Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game with his friends, so that's when I didn't really like that so much. I liked that he had this social gathering of people he'd met years and years ago and just stuck to. I liked that, but I wasn't so sure with it being Dungeons and Dragons. I just felt like it was too much. But then I probably just got something against D&D because my ex-boyfriend used to play it. Those are my characters. I always go on for ages about characters. I am so sorry. Okay, next thing that I'm going to try and cut down about. Pacing. I thought that it got off to a really slow start. I didn't think there were enough emails. I thought there was too much of Lincoln. Again, I didn't like him. And then it all started. It was like we got to halfway, and Rowell said, "Okay, I better start picking up now." And she sort of changes something a bit, puts a little bit of a darker moment in the life. Then we go, okay, and we're there for a while, and it picks back up again, and then it goes positive for a bit, and it goes down a bit, and then it's kind of, And this is all within 2 chapters. So, well, exaggeration, these chapters are pretty short. They're 3 chapters, maybe 4. And then suddenly he's up. The whole book is just up though. And you see, oh, and the epilogue is just oh, okay, got it, oh. End. I liked aspects of the ending. I thought it sort of wrapped up how the characters fit together really well. And I liked how you saw their characters as they were now, having gone through or still sort of working through their issues together. I really liked that. Even though I did enjoy it, I still felt as if it was a bit rushed at the end. And I did have a quick peek on Goodreads before I read the book to look at what other people were saying. And I saw someone say that, where was I going with this? Where was I going? I'm an idiot. Oh, this will probably work better. I'm an idiot. Ow. Oh no, my poor spine! No! So, wrapping it up, I gave the book 4 stars because even though I enjoyed a lot of the cutesy moments and I have this feeling of, oh, I loved that book, I didn't think it was 5-star quality. So I don't know which rating system I'm going to go for because I thought I'd stick to Goodreads, but I think I'm going to have to go with like something out of 100. So I'm going to give it a 75 out of 100. So that was a very long video that I recorded and have to edit down now. Well done, Rain. Okay. Thank you for listening, if anyone listened. This has been me, you, and a book. The Booksome. A threesome between us and books. Yeah. I'm scratching the wall. Yep. My name's Rainiepie. I don't know who you are. Shh, low key. It's just my mother coming back from writers group. Shh. Writers group. Living the village life. Waiting for me to get up. First thing I'm going to talk about